I've worked as a chef for 10 years, but I still love to use my air fryer while cooking at home. However, most people are using it wrong, so in today's video, I've got for you 8 simple tips that will change the way you use your air fryer for the better. My first tip starts before we even get cooking, and that is to preheat your air fryer for maximum caramelization. This is common practice in restaurants where we always preheat roasting trays, baking trays before adding in any produce, as this means it's not going to stick, but it's also going to get lovely and golden and caramelized. And in cooking, color equals flavor, and that is of course what we are looking for. I'm going to be cooking some tofu, so we're going to preheat this to 200 degrees, and we'll do it for 3 minutes. And I'm going to do this on the air fry setting. There's also roast, bake, grill, reheat, dry, and proof. Really quickly, I just want to say a big thank you to Cosori for sponsoring today's video. I've been using their air fryers for at least a year now, and they never let me down. I use them probably at least 3 times a day, and they're honestly one of the best air fryers I've used. So if you're interested in getting yourself an air fryer, check out the link in the description box or the comment section. Now you can definitely use this air fryer without preheating it. This is the Cosori Turbo Tower Pro, and it is so powerful it heats up in no time at all. But if you're going for maximum caramelization, maybe with some roasted veg or some crispy tofu, then a quick 3 to 5 minute preheat makes all the difference. My next tip is to make sure you're using the right amount of oil for what you're cooking, because it's easy to use too little or too much depending on what is needed. The great thing about this air fryer is it's PFAS free, it's ceramic coated both the baskets and the crisper plates, which means it's safer, longer lasting, and food literally just slips off it. It is that non-stick. It's also incredibly easy to clean, whether that's in the sink or even in the dishwasher. Now, despite all that, I do still like to use a little bit of oil when using my air fryer. Oil helps transfer heat, it gets your food extra golden and crispy, but it also keeps it moist and prevents it from going dry. When cooking with food that does contain a lot of fat, such as plant-based sausages, you definitely don't need to add any oil. However, most plant-based foods are very low in fat and will benefit from a little bit of oil. One thing to note is you don't want to use any cooking sprays that contain a propellant. This one is actually just olive oil, so that's quite good. Propellants will damage the non-stick coating of your air fryer, so you definitely want to avoid that. This tofu, for example, is fairly low in fat. It does have a little bit, but it's the healthy kind, so that's all good. I'm just going to add some olive oil. And I'll just lightly toss that through, and that's just going to really help it get lovely and crispy. I'm also going to cook some courgette, and once again we're going to do a touch of olive oil. And then for seasonings, I'm keeping it simple and just doing salt and pepper. And then just get the courgettes nicely coated. My next tip is to season ingredients in a bowl or container before adding them into the air fryer. If you season them in the air fryer basket, you'll likely get seasonings all over the tray, and they will burn while your ingredients are cooking. So back to the tofu, I'm gonna add some starch in now. I've just got some corn flour here. And I'll also add in the seasonings. I'm using a shawarma mix here, which is going to be delicious. And we'll just gently toss that through and get it all nice and coated. This is firm tofu, so I have to be careful when mixing it not to break it up too much. I did of course first boil it in salted water to get it really nice and seasoned from within, and also to make it slightly firmer. So we're doing this now so that this seasoning doesn't go onto the air fryer basket and burn. This next tip is an important one, and it is to spread out your ingredients as much as possible so that the hot air can get around them and make them lovely and golden and crisp, rather than going soggy and steamed if you put too many in the tray. Okay, so this is preheated. I'm now going to add in my tofu. And you can hear it sizzling already because we did preheat it. I'm just going to rearrange the tofu so there's a little space between each piece. You could use tongs to do this as well. As long as there's a little space between each piece, then it's good to go. This will cook for 5 minutes before I either turn the tofu or give it a toss. For the courgette, I'm using the larger basket, and I've removed the crisper tray as we want a nice sort of even golden sear on it. So again, I'm leaving space between each piece of courgette. Tip number 5 is to turn your food regularly so that it cooks nice and evenly. You can do this with tongs, or you can give the tray a quick toss. In just 5 minutes, this tofu is already looking pretty incredible, but we want it extra crispy, so we'll cook it for another 5 to 10 minutes. Give it a quick toss. And then again, just make sure the tofu is fairly spread out, like so. This next tip is one that people often forget, and that is to adapt recipes from oven to air fryer. If you don't, you'll often get very dry food or even burnt. So I typically reduce the temperature by 20 to 30 degrees, and I also reduce the cooking time by around 20 to 25%. It will probably take a little bit of getting used to, but once you do, it's incredibly easy. And Cosori, they send you a quick start guide that has lots of good advice, and it has all the different cooking recommendations for different ingredients. Next tip is a quick and easy one, and it is to not use any metal utensils, as this will damage the ceramic coating. I tend to use ceramic or wood. This tofu has had 10 minutes now, and honestly, I don't think we need to cook it any longer. That is how quick this air fryer is. It is beautifully crispy, and if we cook it any longer, it will just dry out. I could honestly eat this all day long, so good. Just look at the color on that, crispy and golden. Now the great thing about cooking the courgette in the bottom basket is that there is a bottom heating element as well as a top heating element. So you don't really have to do any turning at all. And there you go, after 12 minutes you have the most beautifully golden courgette or zucchini. Just look at the color on there, that is just all flavor right there. Beautiful. More often than not, you'll just need to give the air fryer a quick wipe because of that ceramic coating, but if anything is slightly stuck, you can just fill it up with water and give it a quick soak. And then you can just empty out the water, give it a quick wipe, then another rinse, and you're good to go for next time. It's also worth noting that food will occasionally get stuck in these little grippy bits, and I'll just get a toothbrush and some soapy hot water and give it a little scrub. Also, once the air fryer has cooled, I just get a wet sponge and I'll give the inside a quick wipe. And then the heating element as well, I'll just give that a quick wipe, especially if I've been using oil or something slightly wet. And I promise this will save you so much time in the long run, and you won't have a really grungy, dirty air fryer. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, a big thank you to Cosori for sponsoring today's video. Hopefully these tips help you next time you go to cook something in your air fryer. And if you don't have an air fryer, then definitely check out the Cosori Turbo Tower Pro. It's a great bit of kit, ceramic coated, really powerful, and there'll be a link in the comment section and the description. I'll see you in a new video very soon. Bye-bye.